Hey there, y'all. Dick Eldorado here, trying to help y'all out during this here virus crisis here. Now, some of y'all can't find toilet paper. So here's what you got to do when you're doing your business. I don't know why they call it doing your business. It's not like you're emailing somebody, you're taking a shit. But nonetheless, y'all gonna need some help. Now, toilet paper is hard to find, so here's some suggestions. Number one, y'all got dinner napkins. Now, dinner napkins are handy-dandy. They're not just for dinner, so try to use that. Now, the next thing y'all could use is cotton balls. Now, I agree with you, it's a little tedious, but, don't make sure you don't get them stuck up there, but you can use them. So don't forget cotton balls there. You try that, find it in the drugstore, they got plenty of them. You ever hear that joke there when the guy comes in, you got the cotton balls? What do I look like, a rag doll? Yeah, it's a goddamn funny. All right, now, next what we got here is, if things get worse, you gotta use this. I know it's Brillo and I know it's uncomfortable, but number one, hell, that's going to scrape your bowels right clean. So remember your friend Dick Eldorado, he's going to get you through this. Yeah.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up right here on GubsRadio.com, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Boxcast. And like my good friend Ken Pacello always says, we're on TV! And yes, indeed we are, and we have another great show for you today. We have special guests Stephen Pearl and Steve Byrne, two great comedians that have done so much in the comedy world, and it's going to be a lot of fun, great conversations with them. We also have another top five from our good friend, Professor Fedora. It's kind of a weird one, but it's great nonetheless. And also, we have my good buddy, Benny Rizzuti. Benny, how you doing, man?
Hey, Don. Yeah, man. How's it going? Another week under our belt here. How you doing?
We're in the week, I think this is week 7 of the quarantine. This is our 7th show of the PUSUSU Still Quarantine series. And I tell you what, it's been a little weird, a little bizarre. It feels like every week it gets weirder and weirder, whether it's the cabin fever setting in or just the tone of the world. It just keeps getting weird, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. It's getting very strange. It's like when you mess with nature, unnatural things happen.
It is. I got to say, it's very bizarre. And there is you remember Superman, the Bizarro World?
Oh, definitely. I was a big Superman fan growing up. I used to read the comics.
Why you dressed like me? Superboy?
The duplicating machine. Never mind. It's part of both of us.
So yeah, Bizarro World, just like Superman. And I'm telling you, it's Bizarro World here. I really think that there's another dimension or another weird Bizarro World. Look, there's even, Benny, I'm not making this up. There's even a Bizarro PUSUSU.
Get out of town.
I'm serious. Check it out.
Get out.
We got the Gagootz here with us. He's awesome.
You're awesome.
Oh, no, Benny. You're awesome, man.
You're awesome.
Oh, no, Benny. You're awesome, man.
So what do you think of that, Benny?
That was too bizarro for the Bizarro planet. Let me tell you that. Wow. Tell you that was bizarre. If that's an alternate universe, I hope that they didn't have to audition to be. Were they auditioning to be us? And I just do want to say that the Bizarro Benny was a very attractive 65-year-old.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But they didn't. It was also a Bizarro Fedora as well. Check it out.
Hello, Professor Fedora here. Here are my top 5 reasons why I need to get out of the house. 1, I'm horny. 2, I'm horny. 3, I'm horny. 4, I'm horny. And 5, I'm horny. Please, someone send me your American women.
Me am Bizarro.
Kind of creepy, man. Kind of weird.
Get the hell out of here.
So,
I got to tell you, all right, I feel like that you and I just took a trip to the dumb side of the moon.
Very strange, bizarro PUSUSU.
Whoa, bizarro PUSUSU indeed.
And I don't know where they get it from. I mean, like, because all I know is that you're awesome, Benny.
No, Don, you are awesome.
No, you're awesome, Benny.
No, you're awesome, my friend.
Oh, you're awesome.
Can't believe I have to do this shit again, but here we go. Hi kids, it's me, Tim Saliani. This week I'd like to talk about how gullible and stupid you look when you share conspiracy theory videos from YouTube on social media as if we're supposed to be taking them seriously. I'm of course talking about the latest Rage Amongst Lemmings Plandemic, the 26-minute time waster with production value that uses an interview with crackpot Dr. Judy Mikovits, seen here looking like Mama Fratelli in a disguise, who claims she's not an anti-vaxxer, but is the darling of the anti-vax movement, makes her money at anti-vaxxer conferences, and just had the foreword of her new book written by noted anti-vaxxer and only person in his family with less of a brain than his Uncle John, Robert Kennedy Jr. Now, I'm not going to get into the multiple reasons why failed model actor and overall shitty proofreader Miki Willis is trying to cash in on your gullibility by making this film, or why Judy Mikovits has about as much credibility as the crumb-faced child claiming they don't know what happened to all the cookies. But if you've ever asked yourself why only 4 out of 5 doctors recommend something, it's because the 5th doctor's this fucking quack. Now, as much as I think that they're complete pieces of shit, my beef isn't really with them. No, my beef is with you people. You non-source checking, share whatever bullshit's in front of your face like it has validity fucking rubes that like to call yourselves adults but clearly miss the boat on critical thinking. Look, anyone could take information and bend and twist it to cover a narrative they wish to be true. For example, did you know that I weigh 122 pounds? That's a fact. What I'm not telling you is that's my fucking weight on Mars. Here on Earth, let's just say I'm not doing any fucking zipline tours anytime soon. Also, I love when anti-vaxxers grasp at straws and go after me about my weight as if A, I have feelings that can be hurt, and B, I'm more of a public health threat than some dolt who thinks lavender oil can cure her little ray of sunshine's cancer. But Tim, you're a sheep. You believe everything lamestream media tells you. No, I don't. But anyone who drones on about Bill Gates releasing murder hornets to inject us with 5G tracking ability doesn't get to source shame me. Jesus Christ, Bill Gates isn't using viruses to control the population. He's doing it by fucking up public education. Well, then why do they keep taking it down? They don't want us to know the truth. You just fucking posted it, you ninny. It's all over the place. Yeah, they're doing a bang-up job with this cover-up. Holy fuck, if you believe that shit, I have a bridge to sell you. You can buy it, and then heave yourself off of it. God damn it. Listen, social media is a kitchen, and information is the meal. Our problem is, there's too many fucking cooks in the kitchen, and none of them are Michelin rated. Most of you fucking people have zero culinary experience. So the next time you want to share some unfact-checked, no-source-having conspiracy theory bullshit YouTube video, as if it's supposed to have validity, remember this, assholes. Jet fuel might not melt steel beams, but spreading conspiracy theories melts your ability to be taken seriously as an adult. Godspeed, fuckos.
All right, we're back. That was Tim Saliani. Man, what another awesome rant he has done. He's great.
He's amazing. He's one of my all-time favorite people. And I just met him this year, and he is one of my all-time favorite people.
And he really nailed it with all of that. But today we have a lot of great guests. In fact, one surprise guest. But we'll get to that later. Right now, do you know what's coming up next?
No, Don. What's coming up next?
I got to sit down with the fantastic comedian Stephen Pearl. And
I love Stephen Pearl. I love him. He has me cracking up. If I call him up, I'm laughing before he even answers the phone. That's how great it is. Stephen Pearl is great.
He is awesome. He did not disappoint. And here it is. Check it out.
Look at the drinks at this table. It's the William Holden starter set over here, man. The charter members of DAM, drunk drivers against mothers. Screw them, they get in the way. Come on, If I can't drink and drive, why do bars have parking lots? Come on, let's sing the drunk driver anthem. You know it. Well, a stop sign ain't nothing but an octagon. Come on. Octagon ain't gonna tell me what to do. Yahoo! And why should I stop my car dead just cause some old light turns red? Hell, I'll floor the gas and plow right through. Come on!
Our first guest is a very special guest. He's been in the game, the comedy stand-up game, for a long time. And he's been writing and working with some of the great icons of stand-up comedy history. Everybody from Sam Kinison, Bill Hicks, Robin Williams. He's been there. He's done it all. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Long Island's own Stephen Pearl. Stephen, how you doing, man?
That's how the Jews control the web. Oh, we're on the air. Oh, hi. How you doing? Good to see you. Yes, I worked with Sam Kinison and Robin, Kevin, me, all the dead guys. Name them. Grover Cleveland, James Knock Oak, Clark and McCullough. I've worked. Everyone dead. I've worked with them. Lucky me.
But you
all the dead guys, man.
But it's such a part of comedy history. You're a part of it all. Like, you know, even in the Comedy Store days, you famously had to follow Richard Pryor a few times.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. You are stand-up comedy.
I've been at it 43 years, and I'm going to keep at it till I can get on a young comedian special thing. How about these newfangled automobiles? I don't think they'll catch on. Yeah, I started in 77. Oh, my God. When I started, to give you an idea how old I am, when I started, Elvis was alive and Son of Sam was on the loose, okay?
Wow.
In fact, I had a girlfriend at the time. The second time I went on stage, there was third or fourth, there was a Catch a Rising Star in New York. Remember them, folks? And I had a girlfriend, and she wore a wig because she heard she came to see me, she heard Son of Sam was coming after a woman with shoulder-length brown hair, which she had, so she wore this Harpo wig. So, you know, so like Sam wouldn't shoot her, and he didn't, so it worked.
Hey,
but
it works.
That's how long I've been doing this shit, man. So here we are.
Wow, man. Yeah, you've been definitely doing it a long time, and now you bounced around a little bit. You earned your bones kind of in San Francisco and LA, and now you're in Las Vegas. How long you been over there in Vegas?
I've been in Las Vegas since September 6th of 2018. I moved. I got totally sick of LA in 2009. I reconnected with an old girlfriend from the 80s in San Francisco, so I moved back up there. We lived together for a long time, and and the rents just got insane, and it's not much of a comedy scene there. People say, come to Vegas. So that's where, you know, old Jews go to die in Miami and old comics go to finish their careers in Las Vegas. And I had a choice, so I decided I'd go to Las Vegas. So I came to Vegas with my girlfriend, but the air here is really bad for her, so she can't live here. So she's in California and I'm here. We're still, as far as I don't know if we're together or not, I don't know what's going on. But I'm here with 3 cats and I'm digging it, man. I like it here.
How have you been handling the quarantine?
I'm going nuts like everyone else. It sucks. I like my alone time, plenty, but I also like human contact, and I love getting on stage. And none of us can do that now. So like everyone else, I'm climbing the walls. And if this thing doesn't end soon, I'm going on a 7-state shin kicking spree. I'm going to snap it. It sucks. You know, what can you do? It's scary. You know, I'm 64. I've never seen anything like this in my life. You know. Maybe like smallpox in the 30s or something, but that was a little before my time. Have to ask Betty White about that.
Now, that there are some stuff I definitely want to talk to you, because you came up through, like you said, the 70s and 80s into the comedy boom. And you had, you know, you're famous for your fast kind of riff style of comedy. So tell me a little bit about the origins of your style and I guess, natural or did you?
I don't know what it is, man. People go, what do you call it? I go, Arthur. I don't know. Call it what you want. Yeah. It's been called like a Tasmanian devil or a tornado on amphetamines. I don't know. It's probably out of nervousness. I didn't like silence up there, and when I started, I got a lot of it. So I started talking fast. I don't know. Nervousness probably what it is. It's led into whatever it is I'm doing now, but it seems to work most of the time, so I'm happy with it.
Oh, it's more like, yeah. It's the Americans. Quick, throw the pebbles. Get out of here. Get him out. Yeah. Man the catapult. Rashid, make a scatty face. He's gurning. Let's get out of here. He swallowed his dot with his turban. Oh, man. Oh, Iraqi. There's a real romantic language. Daktiba. He said he'd like to caress you gently in the breeze. One of the rules of Iraqi grammar is before kaka. Except after squiggly thing with 2 dots on top of it, huh?
Yeah, you got that like that fast kind of stream of consciousness style, just like Robin Williams. And so it's kind of cool that you two guys became pretty close friends.
Yeah. Well, you know, he did some of my stuff sometimes without permission, but you know, he's a friend. We reconnected when I moved back up north, and in 2009, that's when I saw him a lot. And you know, the powder was gone, and everybody was like fairly sane again. So you know, we saw each other a lot there. He got us to his place in New York when he did the play there, the Bengal Tiger at the Baghdad Zoo.
When an atheist suddenly finds himself walking around after death, he's got some serious reevaluating to do.
So in New York for about a week, and then you know, he went to his wedding, and he got us into a private show he did with Paul McCartney for 600 people in Las Vegas.
Nice.
He let us enjoy his life quite a few times. So, you know, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So, second time we connected.
Now, I do want to ask you, because there's the kind of the mythical story about Robin, that it's common knowledge that he would take jokes because he's such a stream of consciousness. But it's this story, and I just want to hear it from you if get the facts straight. The story goes that he took one of your jokes, and then you confronted him, like backstage at one of the clubs.
And I shot him in the face.
And that you like, yeah, it said like that you confronted him, and then he took out a checkbook and wrote you a check and said, "Now you're my writer."
I think he did that with other guys, but with me, it was usually a phone call. You know, I watched Letterman. Oh, that's good. It's funny. It's funny. Oh shit, that's mine. Remember those? Yeah. You're fired. And then call back, and I get a check the next day. You know. But the deal was he didn't deliberately go out. It wasn't like a Carlos Mencia thing. That guy knows he's stealing. You know,
right.
That guy's the Nixon of comedy. You know, I always find that. I have no idea. Let's look at the tape. And because I'll tell you, I once had a T-shirt. I was with Robin once, and I had a T-shirt with the slide guitar genius Dwayne Allman on it. Today I'm wearing Johnny Winter. Ah!
Nice.
I was wearing a Dwayne Allman T-shirt. Robin goes, "Who's that?" I go, "It's Dwayne Allman. He's a slide guitarist, founded the Allman Brothers, did a lot of session work with Aretha Franklin, blah, blah, blah." A few days later, I see Robin again. I'm wearing the T-shirt. I did wash it between times. And he goes, "Who's that?" I go, "It's Dwayne Allman. He's a slide guitar player, the Allman Brothers band, and did session with." About 10 days later, I see Robin again. I'm wearing the Dwayne Allman T-shirt. "Who's that?" "It's Dwayne Allman. He's a slide guitar, the Allman band. You don't remember? You son of a bitch. There's too much shit going through your mind." So he just had so much shit going on in his head, and I have that too. But he must have had it like a zillion times, you know, more than I did. So I don't think he knew it, or by the time it came out halfway out his mouth, he goes, "Oh, I think I have to write a check." So, but. You know, I don't want people to think this guy was like a thief, just a thief, because this guy was fucking brilliant, man. He was incredible. You ever watch him? You know, 95% of what he did was out of his mind, and it was brilliant. It was amazing.
I think that's why, like a lot of people do know that, you know, tick stuff, but I think the reason he does get a pass, so to speak, he's not labeled like Mencia or any of the others, is because of that, because they understand, most people understand the genius of Robin, and when you got a million things flushing through your head, things are going to come out.
Exactly. Exactly. He had a million things, and you know, I can imagine what his dreams are like. You know, he just and I'm on Mars, now I'm on the core of the Earth, now I'm underwater, you know. But that's just the way it worked. That's the way he was wired. And luckily, he got into comedy instead of going into banking or being a well. In fact, you can hear on my late great podcast show, Riferendum, RIFFERENDUM.com. I did a nice interview with him at his house, and
nice.
People like Rick Overton and Tom Dreesen and Johnny Winter and Edgar Winter and Felicia Michaels and Gary Snow and all kinds of good
Wow, a lot of great people.
Riferendum.com. It's
Riferendum. I will put the link to that.
There you go.
In this interview for all of the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Because your energy, stage persona is very similar to Robin's. I could imagine when the two of you are hanging out, are you on or are you kind of off, or what's it like when you both are on?
Both. You know, when you hang out with your friends, sometimes you're on, sometimes you just want to like sit and not say a word and play checkers or go fishing or do nothing. So it depends, you know. Yeah, we'd riff, man. We'd riff our asses up on stage or off stage. And sometimes we just kind of hang on. An hour later, somebody says, "So what's up?" And an hour later, yeah, nothing. So you know, it's just like friends hanging out with anybody. So yeah.
That's cool. Now you are definitely a comics comic all the way through. You've inspired.
Comic means the audience doesn't get him and he hardly works. Remember that word.
That's
alternative comic. That means not funny.
That's true.
We don't alternative improv. It's all planned out. You know, it's alternative.
But do you like keep track with the new comics, and are there any comedians out there that you see yourself in, or is there any comedians out there that you just think are great, new ones?
I don't really watch any of the younger ones. I like the older, you know, my contemporaries who are like now in their 90s and hundreds, and you know, I like them. And out here, since I've been to Vegas, I've been meeting a lot of younger comics, and now I'm starting to look the ones out here anyway. There's some really funny people out here, so you know, there's a lot of good people. So there's a good community here in Las Vegas. So.
Who wants a guy? Look at his hairy, smelly, sweaty, something sticking out. Looks like Keith Richards' neck over here. What happened to Keith Richards? Fell out of a coconut tree and had brain surgery? Now I can pull the coke right in the hose. Oh, this is wonderful.
Because your style is boom, boom, boom. Do you like write jokes like in the traditional sense, like in a notebook, or are they just kind of thoughts?
I try to write them in a notebook, and I always lose them. So it's thoughts, and I'll write it down. I'll have it crumpled in my pocket with a few old Q-tips, and I'll take it out on stage. I'll forget to do it the first 5 times I'm on stage, then I'll start doing it, and I'll do it again, then I'll remember it. And then when I think of a new bit, 2 old bits usually fall out of my head, and I don't see them for a while. So somebody will come pick them up.
New York, fucking New York, man. A lot of happy people in New York City. Hey, fuck you, Vinny, right here, dick brain. Blow me, douchebag, fuckface. Great sermon, Father. See you next Sunday. Hey,
I know that you probably have a million stories with all of the guys you rolled with through the years, some of the icons and stuff like that. Is there any story or any particular time you could tell us about that stands out?
Oh, that was my favorite Beatles song. Yeah. There's just a lot of them. I remember Sam Kinison throwing furniture out the window at the Comedy Store comedian's house. That was fun. And help me with this couch. No, get your own hernia, fat boy. I'll just watch.
So you were in the house while he was.
More poke out on the table, big boy. You're a star.
So while he's in the house, you were there while Sam was actually famously doing it.
Yeah. So.
And what's that like being in the mix of that? Like, are you nervous? Or are you kind of laughing, or like, what's the scene like?
A little of everything, you know, and they're pretty numb too with what we were taking back then. So that, and I remember I had to follow Pryor 3 times in 1 week in the original room at the Comedy Store when I first got there. Mitzi was in, I'm going to see how good this guy really is. And wow. And this was before he got sick. He was Richard Pryor then, man. And I went down in flames the first night. And then the second night, I figured I got to think of a strategy here. And he killed, of course. I went on after. I go, I feel like Pat Boone following Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock. Whoa, Purple Haze, boom. I killed him, and they had him from then on. And I did that the third night, and I killed again. And even prior to the third night, I said, "You funny, man." So, wow, Richard Pryor told me I was funny. It was some wild stuff, wild stuff going on there.
That's pretty cool. It is really cool. Like you said, you were born at the perfect time. You got to see Hendrix play, but better than that, you got to be a part of stand-up comedy history. I mean, you lived through it, shoulder to shoulder with these guys. That's
stuff. I grinded my teeth on Sam Kinison's kitchen floor many times, and hung out with Robin and Johnny and Edgar Winter, really good friends. And I just met people prior, and it's it could have been better, but it sure could have been a hell of a lot worse. So it's been a lot of fun. So and it's not over yet. Well, maybe with the germs and the killer hornets, it might be, but killed by little bitty things. So
I know.
But, no, I'm enjoying every day. Still, it's amazing. This is moving to Vegas is another chapter in my life, and I'm working here and making new friends, and all my old friends pass through town sooner or later. So, the Vegas is a perfect place for me right now.
Yeah, I've never been to Vegas, man. I want to get out there. I want to see some comedy out there.
Oh, it's happening. There's a million places. Well, there will be, hopefully, you know.
Yeah, I know. We got to get the
end of days.
Again. I'm still waiting. I got to get a haircut. I still have so many things.
Hey. I know. Peace, man.
It started to become
Which Allman brother are you? Got the good stuff on.
But you do have the energy and you know, you're outspoken and all that stuff. So I do want to ask you a couple hot topics, if that's okay, and
hot topics. Let's do it. Hot topics.
Hot topics. Are you ready?
Okay.
And then just get the murder hornets that are now in.
I am hoping that they run into the killer African bees and they have a rumble and just kill each other. So that's, you know, it's something. You know, it's like, hey man, what you know, man? We were here first. Hey, no, I go to kill you, man. What fuck you, motherfucker? So I don't know. The murder. It's always says the germs and the murder hornets, and the deadly volleyball players are coming. I don't know. It's the end of days. We're finished.
The next one is the. Have you seen about the Pentagon? Released that video of UFOs flying around?
Oh, yeah, sure. You know, what's so new about that, man? You know, I've been watching those for years. Some fake, some probably real. And yeah, sure, you know, we've been watching for a while. But it's like, would you go back to your old elementary school? Why do they want to come here, you know? Would you go like 50 miles out of your way to like go down an anthill? No, man. They're just watching us, man. It's like looking at an ant farm. You know?
Do you think the aliens are just kind of... just watching us to see how we're growing or see how we're doing?
Yeah, I think when we went to the moon, they came, oh, how cute, baby's first steps. Oh, baby's learning how to speak, his first two.
We were just talking a little bit about getting back out there in the crowds and stuff like that. What do you think about these protesters who are out there protesting with no masks on and all that?
Let them all open and hang out together and kill each other. You know, I don't care. Let them do whatever they want. You know, I understand people snapping and being impatient because this has really not happened in our lifetime. This is like, you know, it's like with the plague. Bring out your dead. Ding, ding, ding. Bring out your dead. So people are snapping, and we all want to get back to work, but I'm not getting back to work until, as I said, somebody in a laptop goes, it's okay now. But let them snap, let them go, let them kill each other. What do I don't know any of them. I burrow.
What's your thoughts on cabin fever, and how are you experiencing that?
I've got it, brother. You know, but it sucks. It's cabin fever blows. I mean, you got it. You got a nice view over there. It's like, see, look, there's the Mandelbaum's house. It's the Mandelbaum. Sorry, I stole your newspaper. I'm still going outside. I go to the store. I go outside, drive around, and maybe once every 10 days I go to a friend's house for dinner because it's like you gotta have some human contact.
Right. Yeah.
You know, thank God for Wi-Fi, my cats, and the weed, man. You know, it makes it a lot easier.
Wi-Fi, cats, and weed. That should be the title of your book if you ever.
Yeah, Wi-Fi, cats, and weed. Definitely with an introduction.
What's your thoughts on Joe Biden?
Touchy feel. I sat next to Joe Biden once. It was a touching experience, but I gotta tell you, one candidate likes to grab the woman by the, and the other one likes to grab them by everything. You know, stop touching people, Joe. Stop it. Stop touching people. The very president touched people. Roosevelt didn't touch people. Half would lick them because he could see what they taste like. See, that cat half is a fat mother. Shut your mouth.
And what do you think about the Las Vegas Raiders coming to town over there?
Well, I don't have the sports team, but I think anything that brings some revenue and people to this town is a good thing since I live here. So, sorry, Oakland, you messed up. I haven't liked Oakland since I found my car on bricks there. So.
Oh, yeah, that will do it.
Oh, Oakland, where the crime rate goes up every day, and the bebop sounds are all around, and the red blood covers up the gray. Sorry, I get a little Broadway flashback there.
I like when you break it. I think it's awesome. It's awesome when you break into song. That's terrific.
I got Broadway in my blood.
So tell me a little bit about what you got going on. You got the podcast go. Obviously, there's no performing right now, unfortunately, but you're still doing your podcast.
Yeah, RIFFERENDUM.com, referendum.com. Check it out. Old timey fun interviews on there. Robin Williams and a bunch of other very talented people. And nothing, man. I'm doing a lot of Zoom interviews and feeding the cats, bro. You know. So what do I do out here? I don't want to do any Zoom shows without an audience or anything, not stand-up shows, but I'll do all the interviews if anybody wants. But yeah, nothing. I've been grounded. I'm 64. I've been grounded. It's amazing.
Well, Stephen, I am so happy you called and we got to do this interview today. Definitely, yeah. Well, next time you're in New York.
Yeah, let's do a part 2 through 756 real soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. You rock, my friend. Thanks again for everything. Stephen Pearl, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Vote for me, student council, root beer in the water fountains. Yes.
My name is Silvio Dante. My friend Don Sil, he's got a great show. What's it called?
Put up, stand up, and shut up? No, put up, shut up, and stand up. I keep getting that wrong.
Put up, what is it again?
Put up, shut up, and stand up.
I don't know the name of it, but everybody else does.
Put up, shut up, or stand up. Right? Put up, shut up, stand up. Put up, stand up, and shut up.
We'll start over.
No, put up, stand up, shut up.
Put up, shut up, and stand up. You gotta watch Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up with Don Sills. We just had a fucking blast.
That's what I thought. Put up, shut up, stand up. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, there you are. Just keep laughing. That's all we can do.
All right. So, Benny, a lot's been going on this week. And, like, when you think that this pandemic is not enough, when the COVID-19 is not enough, when all these craziness is not enough, what happens next? Murder hornets.
Murder hornets is scaring the crap out of me. I think that the human race has been messing around with things because all of a sudden these killer hornets, like, all right, you could say that they evolved or something. No, I know I had read that we were doing we as the human race was doing genetic experiments with insects, trying to make them so they don't sting, so mosquitoes that don't sting you, and we opened up Pandora's box.
We definitely
did. Opened it up, and things are coming out, and they're coming to get us.
They're the size of your thumb.
They're big.
They're big, and their stingers are big. It feels like a nail going into you.
Oh, man. It's like a friggin' vibrating nail gun.
And they go into other hornets and they decapitate their heads. It takes them only a matter of hours to overtake a whole hive of honeybees.
Really?
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends?
Wow. Oh, man. It's scary. This is scary crap, man. This is scary.
They're trying to hunt them all down.
And they're coming. They're coming. They're going to come right in the middle, right when you want to enjoy the summer. We're going to have to walk around in bubbles. We are. We are going to have to walk around in some kind of a bubble that's like see-through but plexiglass.
So now, I'm going to go out into the world and win her back. And nothing is going to stand in my way.
Governor's Comedy Club Radio would like to thank all of you for choosing Gov's Radio to watch during the quarantine. And now is a great time to show your favorite show some love. And also enter to win a free pass to the world-famous Governor's Comedy Club when it reopens. And yes, go to teespring.com. You scroll down the search bar, type in Govs Radio, and this will bring you to our store where you can purchase t-shirts, mugs, and so much more for every single show on the station, including Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up. You can get your t-shirt or mug from there anytime you want. So to enter for a free pass, all you need to do is take a picture of yourself with your mug and your t-shirt or towel or whatever and send it to us. We will post it to our page. And the 6th picture received, the 6th one, will get a free pass to the world-famous Governor's Comedy Club when we reopen. Teespring.com, everybody. Hey, Benny, you know what's coming up next?
No, Dom, what's coming up next?
Professor Fedora's top 5. Now, Professor Fedora, it's been a very strange trip with this Professor Fedora. So if you haven't been keeping up, Professor Fedora put on the wrong hat a couple weeks ago and became Angry Fedora, which is kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He was Angry Fedora. He said a whole bunch of mean, nasty things 2 weeks in a row of his top 5. Then I sent him in the mail a package of spray that was magic that sprayed and turned him into a little boy. And now he's trying to figure out how to become back to Professor Fedora again. So without further ado, here's Professor Fedora, his top 5, and the saga continues on. Here we go.
Once I had to get back to normal, I made this potion, and I hope this works.
I don't feel good.
Hey guys, it's Dr. Fedora, and I know what you're thinking. Wow, is that a new hat? It sure is. Now the reason I'm in my closet today is because I'm doing some spring cleaning. I think that we can all get a head start on our spring cleaning, and there's no better time now than during a quarantine. Am I right? Do you really need that nail salon anymore, ladies? I mean, painting your nails has become the thing to do. I mean, check them out, like a pro. If you'd like to get your nails done by me, let me know. I'm offering a discount code. That's discount code Dr. Fedora. It's so easy a baby can do it. Don't even get me started on the hair. You can organize your shoes by color. So we'll start with red, right? Let's see. Yellow. Maybe we can put the black in the beginning. You know what? Let's just, maybe we can work on my bags. Let's just do something else. We'll do something else. You should be cleaning like you've never cleaned before. Really get in there. How you doing down there? Miss a spot. You better clean like you've never cleaned before. Eat food that the vegans eat. Tomatoes fresh from the garden. I've definitely had an unhealthy amount today. You can eat the food that make vegans tell you that they're vegan. Protein, you know what I mean? Additionally, you can end it with some nice ramen noodle. You can just throw anything in here. It doesn't really matter. And when it's all said and done, you wash it down with some whiskey.
Oh, man.
The show that's been on my mind all the time. PUSUSU. Ooh, ooh. Now you might not even know my name, but we both love that wheel spinning game. PUSUSU. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, Saturday evenings, PUSUSU's there. We all come running from everywhere to Gov's Comedy Club Radio. It feels so good when you just say the word. Ooh, PUSUSU.
Everybody, like I said, we have a surprise guest today, and it is not going to disappoint. Ladies and gentlemen, Cardi B is with us today. And Cardi B, I do want to ask you, what's your thoughts about this whole coronavirus and how you're dealing with it all?
Let me tell y'all motherfuckers something. I don't know what the fuck this coronavirus is about. I don't understand how that shit was from Wuhan, China. Now all of a sudden this shit is on motherfucking tour.
Yeah, it's been a pretty big deal, I'd say. We've all been locked up for a couple of months now in quarantine, but are you a little nervous? Are you scared? How you feeling?
A bitch is scared. I'm a little scared, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit got me panicking. And a lot of you motherfuckers think it's a joke.
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could do that.
But that shit right there, just because you think you're immune to it, guess what? Your pocket ain't, bitch, because a lot of shit comes from motherfucking China, bitch. So if you wonder where your motherfucking weave or your fashion over motherfucking packages have arrived, guess what, bitch? Coronavirus!
Coronavirus!
Coronavirus! I'm telling you, shit is real! Shit is getting real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real!
Hold up.
Most millennials, all my millennial friends, are having no problem with this at all. You know, they've been preparing for this quarantine since Nintendo came out. Who knew that spending hours and hours in a dark basement playing video games would save your nana? I've also learned that in 2020, looks only matter from the waist up. For the first 2 weeks of quarantine, I really tried hard to look professional while working from home. And now, I just try to look like I have a home.
Hey everyone, it's comedian Wendy Liebman, and ooh, is that broccoli in my teeth? No, it can't be. I don't eat broccoli. I'm here to tell you to make sure you watch the show Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up. It's on every Saturday night at 7, and you can watch it in 3 places. It's on Gov's Radio, Facebook Live, and Boxcast. Every Saturday night at 7. What else do you have to do?
So, Benny, tomorrow is Mother's Day.
Yes,
and
it is.
It's a very special day for moms everywhere. So I want to say, first and foremost, happy Mother's Day to all the moms watching. But
Me too. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms that are watching.
And I
God
know,
bless you all.
yes, and happy Mother's Day to Nancy, your wife Nancy. And I know
Oh, yeah.
she is out there, being a great mom. But also she does a lot of work for booking all sorts of things. She books a lot of our guests, and she also books a lot of stuff for other people as well.
Right, and she books comics for shows. She has met so many. She's gotten so many comedians that were guests for this show, for other shows I've done in the past. And I don't know, she just has a way with she called herself Mama Comedy.
Mama Comedy, very
Mama
nice.
Comedy, Nancy Rizzuti, Mama Comedy. And no, God bless her for all the work she does, and every she's awesome. What can I say? Nancy's awesome.
Yes, she is. Nancy, you're awesome. And happy Mother's Day. And here's a little bit of Nancy in action.
Hey, Nancy, got a minute?
Can you just wait a second? You know, you're always bothering me. All right, now
It's
listen.
very important.
All right, 1 second. Now listen. No. Understand this, please. All right, so I would prefer to do Carnegie Hall. I know we have to do the social distancing and everything like that, and Carnegie Hall is a great venue for that, only because that we can put people, there's different levels, so we can put the people on different levels. All right, listen, have you ever heard of Lenny Bruce? Have you ever heard of Richard Pryor? You have. Well, these guys have too.
Hey, Benny, you know what's coming up next?
Hey, Don, I was just wondering, what's coming up next?
Our interview with Stephen Byrne, everybody.
Stephen Byrne, not the Stephen Byrne.
Yes, Steve Byrne. He's a great comedian. He's been doing it for a long time. He's was big on the New York scene. Now he's big in the LA scene. He's had sitcoms. He has a special right now on Amazon called The Byrne Identity. So, hey, well, the
I'm a
interview went
big
great.
fan.
Check it out.
I didn't mean to punch him. I'm so sorry. I make him feel good. Ooh.
All right, everybody. Our next guest is a hilarious comedian actor whose special, The Byrne Identity, is available right now for free on Amazon. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Byrne. Steve, how you doing, man?
What's going on? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Don.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. Been a fan of yours for a while now. You've been on the scene for a long time. And how you living these days, man?
Well, you know, I'm sure we're both in the same boat here. So it's interesting. I'll tell you what's nice for me is that I've constantly been on the road. It's like 45 weeks a year. So to go from 0 to 60 and then 60 to 0, it's been kind of wild, but I got an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old at home and my wife. So I got to say, I know most people like, I got to get back on stage. I can't wait. I'm like, I fucking love this. It's like, I've been kind of like really enjoying just being home. I know that comedy will come back and we'll get to do it at some point, but I'm just trying to enjoy every moment I have at home.
Definitely, man. And the kids are at a great age, and it's good to have that quality time with them right now.
Yeah, they shaved my head. So it was like one day my hair was kind of like your length, and then it was like I got to think of something to do. I'm like, you guys can. I was cutting my son's hair. He's like, can I cut your hair? I'm like, fuck it, all right. So they cut my hair. I figured I got a few more weeks till I get on stage, so it'll be fine.
There you go, it grows back, and that's a great quarantine haircut right there, man.
Exactly, but I'll tell you, it is kind of like The Hurt Locker, that movie, The Hurt Locker, where Jeremy Renner, he's in war and he's writing his wife, he's calling his kid, he can't wait to get back home. He goes back home, he spends like a week with his kids. It's like, fuck this shit, I got to go back to war. So that's kind of what happens at some point, yeah.
But you've been busy not only with the family, but I've seen that you've been doing these guitar lessons.
It's great. It's Fender, the guitar company, has given out 3 months of free classes, so I've been doing that at night, and but just trying to keep busy, just trying to write a ton of stuff, and I banged out a TV pilot, I banged out a feature script, so it's all coming along. I'm going to outline another feature, so just trying to stay productive, and of course watch all the movies that I've been meaning to catch up on. How about you? What have you been up to?
I wish I've been as productive as you've been. I wish I've, have written TV pilots and stuff like that. But basically, I've just been doing this, and I work in sports, so I'm still kind of doing the day job, even though the sports is on hiatus. I'm still doing my thing with them. But yeah, I mean, I get a kick out of watching like a lot of your videos and things you've been doing as far as like the guitar lessons or when you're washing the car.
Pure boredom, yeah.
Yeah, just
Like, let's film this. Let's do something for the funnies. But it's interesting. Like with the social media, it's like you have to do it, right? And I kind of wish I was a comedian in the 80s where you could literally do an hour special that was on HBO and you could tour for that for 8 to 10 years. But nowadays it's like with podcasts, it's like these fuckers with these successful podcasts, like you got to keep up with that, and they're churning out content every day. So it's really difficult to understand and figure out your voice or identity even in that spectrum.
Like the social media thing, like you said, the podcasting has all of a sudden taken off even before the COVID thing. Seems like every other comic has his own podcast. But what's your take now in this era of the last few months? Everyone really taken to Facebook Live for one reason or another. Are you for or against it? Or do you have any feelings towards that? Or
it's too much and it's too bad because it's like those Netflix hour specials. They keep churning them out. It's like let's focus on quality over quantity. We don't need one a week. How about one a month that's really great as opposed to 4 that are okay, I guess they're good. But like even like the Tonight Show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Late Show, it's like, do you like the Late Show with Stephen Colbert? It's like, yes, I do. I love that show. Well, you want to see a worse version of it from his living room on YouTube? It's like, fuck no, this is bad, guys. It's bad. They should just stop doing it. Wait.
Yeah, New York. Why can't you be more like your brother, West Virginia? He doesn't have any coronavirus. And I hear your sister, Rhode Island, is dating a doctor. You are such a disappointment.
I do agree with you. I think it was nice kind of in the beginning of this when you started seeing all of everyone doing stuff from home. But then after a while, like you said, the production value does start to weigh in.
Hey, everybody. Hi. Welcome to my bathroom.
I do miss the days when like it was only like HBO or Showtime, and it was one every couple of months or something like that. And you said, you anticipated, like whether it was Chris Rock or Dice back in the day or any of those types, they were a big deal.
Yeah.
And now,
those days are gone, unfortunately, because as you know, even in your field, there's everything's so fractured now. And the sad thing is that even during this quarantine, everybody's watching the Jordan doc, and it's nice to finally have something communal again. It's like we can all agree, no matter whether you're Republican or Democrat, we should open, we shouldn't open. It's like, that's the greatest. It's the greatest of all time. So let's just kiss the ring and enjoy this collectively as a country.
What time is it? My mentality was to go out and win at any cost.
Show of the 90s, the team of the 90s. How you feeling?
Because back in the day, like you and I, we would watch The Cosby Show Thursday at 8 o'clock, and everybody watched The Cosby Show. Everybody. But nowadays, it's like I'm hearing about shows. I've met people like, I'm on a show called The Glove on Netflix. Like, what the fuck is that? Are you making these things up? Like, I've never heard of half of these shows.
I know. And it's a kind of a double-edged sword, because in one sense, it's good that there's a lot of opportunity and work out there for these type of shows. So if you are a person out there creating content, that's a good thing. But it is a bad thing because it's oversaturated. And like you said, you don't have the same audience like you would like for a Cosby Show back in the day as you would now for the Glove.
Exactly. Yeah. Even the numbers that they could tout are much lower. And even like the numbers for the Jordan doc, I think it was like 26 million or something like that. Or I don't know, over the course of, it's like, I'm sure if this was 20 years ago, it would have been a lot higher, but it is what it is these days. And it's good to have your niche. Everybody's got their niche, right?
Also, though, but being entertained by you, Steve Byrne, on Facebook and everything, I have also discovered how good you are on the rollerblades, man. You're like a rollerblading master out there.
Yeah, I've been playing ice hockey since I was 6. So you can see right here, I got a picture of myself. It's always weird how to figure this out. Me and Mario Lemieux right there.
Oh, nice.
I got to do a like fantasy camp with him and Bill Burr, Ty Domi, Paul Coffey, Mark Recchi, just all these great all-stars, Alex Kovalev. We all got to play, and Bill and I had to do some stand-up comedy for all the players. So that was the trade-off. Do a little ha-ha, and you get to play hockey for 3 days in Pittsburgh with, my heroes. So that was pretty wild. But yeah, I've kept up with ice hockey and rollerblades. But I posted something the other day where it's like, you can't, when you're rollerblading, you have to have a hockey stick in your hand. Because if you're just rollerblading, you look like a Fruit Loop. And I'll never forget, when I was living in New York City, I would go play roller hockey in Central Park with Rick Moranis from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids,
Oh, wow.
the Ghostbusters, and him and his son and a bunch of guys. We'd all get together and play, and it was so fun. And one time my stick broke, so I had to rollerblade home, and I lived in Hell's Kitchen, and Bobby Kelly and Jim Norton lived in my same neighborhood. And as fate would have it, I'm skating, and I see them walk out of a Starbucks, and they look at each other and look at me, and they start dying laughing because I'm rollerblading. And so I'm skating up to them. Nobody says a word, and I skate right in between them, and I smack both their coffees out of their hands, and I keep going, and I just hear Bobby dying laughing. It was one of my great moments as a seller comic,
That is pretty awesome, man.
Stay in it and stay focused. So act like my fist is in there and you got to keep it tight. You don't want my fist to go through there, do you?
No.
You want to keep it tight, keep it secure. Ready? Switch to the other side. Hand behind the head.
You pretty much started in New York City?
New York is where I got my start. I started in 1997. I started in New York City, was just making the rounds. For my first 7 years I was there, I performed every club, every night. I never took a night off other than when I was on the road. And I would do 5, 6, 7 shows a night was the norm. I just loved it. It was like a girl I was infatuated with. And those New York years were my most productive in terms of like just feeling like fully invested in it, to the point where I couldn't wait to get up on stage at night. And I was so appreciative to be identified as like a working stand-up comic. And it wasn't until I moved to Los Angeles that I felt more confident to take my foot off the gas pedal. It's like, I don't need to get up 6 times a night. I'm comfortable enough now where I can work on the bit one time at the Comedy Store and go back home and know what I did wrong. And learn from it.
There's no way to make it in this business. There'll be a guy who's been doing it way longer than you finally get something. Or there'll be a guy who's been doing it for a couple weeks, and you're thinking he's back here. Next thing you're sitting at home, you see him, he got a part on like a sitcom. It's just like no.
You can't ever look at that. You just got to do your thing.
One cool thing about your New York years was 13 or Bust. I love that documentary. I saw it years ago.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great. And
Starting now, so I'm gonna go. I don't know if we have time yet. I'm gonna go here, and boom.
You were in New York City, and you had a documentary called 13 or Bust, where basically you played 13 shows in one night and broke the record. And it's really cool. I think all fans of stand-up comedy should watch this because it's really cool. And it is kind of also now, all these years later, it's kind of like a time capsule of the times.
Yeah,
and
to
some
see
of the clubs.
Bill Burr had hair. Bobby Kelly was skinny. I think Dove and I kind of look the same, although we're a little older. But yeah, you see all the comics in passing, you see all the clubs, and it's just really encapsulates what a typical night was for me in New York City. There were nights where doing 9 or 10 shows wasn't abnormal, but to do 13 was definitely a bit much. It took a lot of planning, and I honestly thought I was going to do 12 and tap out there, but we did it. We did 13. It was the one time, every time we walked out of a club, a cab happened to be there, and I was able to make all the spots within 15 minutes. So
that was all right.
But yeah, it was. I always remembered when I was doing it, it was just before I moved to Los Angeles. I was like, this will embody what you did for all these years. It is a time capsule for myself. I remember saying that to myself. So at some point, I'll probably watch it with my kids and apologize for the material.
Steve Byrne, who was the man who's known for his work ethic, he did 13, which is insane. I don't even know how you do 13.
I heard Aaron is trying to break the record.
And has anybody tried to beat the record? Is anybody?
Oh yeah, Aaron Berg, a great comic in New York City. He's a regular at the Stand.
I think I can maybe do 25 in a night.
25 in a night? What's wrong with you?
He broke it not only broke it, but he eviscerated it. He did 25 sets.
Holy.
In one night. I'm like shocked and blown away that you could, virtually double it. But that is called 25 sets, I think is what it's called. And it's available on Amazon Prime. It's like on iTunes and all that stuff. So you could rent it, and you'd not only be entertained, but be supporting like one of the great comics in New York City. He's such a underrated comic. I love him.
Guys, you've been great. Thank you for letting me play with you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great night. You're awesome, by the way.
That's why, it's always good when comedians support each other and all that stuff. But do you want to go back and reclaim the crown? Is that an itch?
No. even if I had the opportunity to go back and do 14 sets in one night, I'd be like, yeah, I'm cool. I did it when I was a young kid. That's I'm 45 now. To even think, like, I've gotten to the point now where I remember I was Virginia Beach was the last set I did before the quarantine kicked in. And I was talking to my brother who's on the road with me, and I said, man, I don't even feel like doing the second show on a Friday night. And I've never felt that way. It's not that I didn't want to do it. I just felt kind of tired because I gave it my all that first show. And it was the first time where maybe getting a little older kind of kicked in for me, where 45, I'm like, man, it's a lot of stamina to just exert in an hour's time. And I never phone it in. I pride myself on always trying to do the best I can.
What's another stereotype? Black guys are packing heat, right? You know who I always felt bad for? Black guy, not packing heat. See, that's why that Asian stereotype is not bad at all. Asian guys got small junk. Who cares? Run with it. Lowered expectations.
But now you're in LA, and I just want to ask you, is there the difference between the New York comedy scene and the LA comedy scene? And, because I even think the tone of the comedy is different between the two cities.
I think this is the biggest difference that you'll see in New York as opposed to Los Angeles. And I get this quite a bit, but I don't get tired of answering it. I think the difference is that when you're in New York and you're at the Cellar, you're at the Stand, you're at Gotham, you're Comic Strip Live, those are people that are predominantly, I think for the most part, trying to aspire to be a stand-up comic. That's it. When you're in Los Angeles, I think predominantly most of the folks out in Los Angeles that are performing in the comedy clubs are comics that are working on something else, or comics that are aspiring to be in television or film or some other aspect. Whereas in New York, I think they're literally trying to be a stand-up comic, and that's kind of it. And a lot of them tap out there and they're happy with that. And then the aspirations for film or television come after the ascension of solidifying yourself as a grounded past regular at all the clubs. I think that's when the other stuff comes in. But I think LA, the aspirations are just much higher. That being said, New York will always shit on Los Angeles. People in New York are like, oh, fuck LA. LA's this, it's that, it's fake, it's this. That. When you live in LA doesn't shit on anybody because LA's like, well, who are we going to shit on? Why are we going to shit on? We got sunshine. We got the beaches. There's a fucking tent everywhere. It's like, LA doesn't sweat anybody, but New York's constantly sweating LA.
Yeah, I can see that. I do think it has something to do, maybe even with the weather. You know what I mean? Like in a lot of these cities, like Pittsburgh and New York and Buffalo, wherever, it's these cold kind of working class cities, and they do build a certain resentment towards.
Sure, I mean, in New York City, you're self-imposed in this prison of a studio apartment when you're starting off. And I could understand why you're shitting on people in LA. Because before I did this, you can hear my kids swimming. I was just swimming 10 seconds ago. Yesterday, we went down to Venice Beach and just kind of walked around and had the beach to ourselves because everything's quarantined off. And it's like, yeah, it's fucking great out here. It's pretty sweet. Nothing to complain about. I don't miss shoveling my driveway.
Yeah, I know, right? Before I let you go, you do a great Donald Trump, and you're not known to be an impressionist, but you do this great Donald Trump impression.
Yeah, actually, Caliendo and I were talking 2 weeks ago or whatever, and going back and forth with it. It was pretty funny to see one of the best, and I literally have one. I used to do a great Mark Wahlberg. I used to do a really great Mark Wahlberg, and Elon Gold, a great comic impressionist out of New York, loved it. And then Andy Samberg did it on SNL that year. I was like, fuck, my one shot, you know. But I always did a great Mark Wahlberg because it always seemed like he was always out of breath, you know, and he just like he would go to the grocery store. He's just like, guys, we just got to get the milk. You know, let's get the Captain Crunch. You got the spoon. I got the milk. He's got the spoon. Let's go. Let's just eat. And he was always kind of out of breath and always like some impending doom was happening. It was weird. It's been a while since I did it. But Trump, when he started running, the way he said China, that was my in. China, China. And we were eating dinner one night and I kept going, China, China. And my wife was like, it's pretty good. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. And I kept toying with it and doing with it. That's how it all started.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions as Donnie, as you like to call him.
As long as the questions are not from the fake news media, yes, I can answer any questions. You're from Fox News, so of course I'll answer it.
All right, Donnie, the first one is, how important is it to trend on Twitter?
Well, I think people want their leader to trend because who doesn't want to trend? Black jeans trend. Keys are trendy. I'm trending. And a lot of people say it's amazing. I think it's amazing. I think it's great. Yeah.
Why don't you wear a mask out there in the world, Donnie?
Well, I'll tell you, Don, from one Don to another Don, when you look like this, when women gravitate towards success, there is a healthy glow that I exude. Some say it's orange. I say it's sun-like. It's God-like. Why would I want to cover up a Manhattan 10? You don't do that. If you're a Secaucus 6, you need to wear a mask. But when you're a Manhattan 10, let it glow, baby. And I'm here to glow. I'm always going to glow.
What's up with Kim Jong-un?
Well, I've done a lot of research on Kim Jong-un, and I've talked to leadership in North Korea, and they assured me he's not dead. Everybody here is saying Kim Jong-un is dead. He's not dead. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth. I heard it from officials in North Korea. Kim Jong-un is not dead. He is actually in first place in a sleeping contest. Okay? He's not dead.
Sorry, I couldn't get through that one.
And the last one for you, Donnie, is how much is a gallon of milk?
That's a good question. I don't know what the price of a gallon of milk is, but I can tell you an F-16 Learjet personal, that runs you about $693,000. I'm out of touch with the common man. But look, my wife Melania might know the price of a gallon of milk, but then again, she doesn't go grocery shopping either. Melania did recently turn 50. She turned 50 years old, and I gave her some lovely parting gifts.
Awesome. Steve Byrne, I appreciate you taking the time. You're the best. Where can people see you, like, catch you have a website?
Everything I have is Steve Byrne Live. Go to YouTube right now and type in my documentary called Always Amazing. It's about my good friend, the amazing Jonathan, great comic magician. I teamed up with Bill Burr. We put it on YouTube for free. And this fall, I can't tell you the date yet. I know when it's going to happen because we haven't officially announced anything. But the feature film I wrote and directed about stand-up comedy, it's called The Opening Act. It will come out this fall. So be on the lookout for a trailer very soon for that.
That would be awesome. I'm looking forward to that very much. I did watch the Amazing Jonathan documentary. Great job on that.
Thank you, Don.
Steve Byrne, you rock. And people could also catch your show on Amazon, The Byrne Identity. You're awesome. Thank you so much, my friend.
You got it, pal.
Hey, it's Jeffrey Gurian, and I'm out here at Governor's at the Don Sill Show. Put up, stand up, and shut up. No, put up, shut up, and stand up. I keep getting that wrong. Complicated show, very funny. Tune in, watch, great stuff. Don Sill is great, and the people he gets on are really cool. So check it out.
Hello, friends. It's Tom Rhodes. A Swiss woman told me this joke after the show a few years ago when I performed in Zurich, Switzerland. And it goes like this. What kind of wife can do the ironing with her left hand, cook dinner with her right hand, feed her children with her left foot, and please her husband sexually with her right foot? What kind of wife? A Swiss Army wife. It's a damn good joke. Hope you love it. Shalom, amigos.
I have a joke for you. When I was a kid, I played hide and seek with my dad. He's been missing since 1970.
They just issued this like prison reform, and they just passed this like $2.5 trillion economic stimulus package, and it's $1,200 a month guaranteed income, government-funded healthcare, a decrease in school shootings. It's like coronavirus for president. He's doing the right things. I'm voting for him in 2020.
Hey, Benny!
Yeah, Don?
You got a joke for us, man?
Of course I got a joke for you, Don. Why did the pervert cross the road?
Why, Benny?
Because his dick was stuck in the chicken.
Well, Benny, that's our show for today, my friend. Another fun one in the books.
Another fun one. Episode 7, baby.
Episode
or
7.
it's at episode 90.
It was a crazy show indeed. We had a lot of great guests, and you know, it was weird to see the Bizarro universe in full force.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. The dumb side of the moon. I'm going to write a short story like that. Welcome to the dumb side of the moon.
So, what's your weekend like?
My weekend, Don? Let me tell you about my weekend. I am going to smoke about 10 of these right here, all right? And then I'm going to listen to about 50 hours of the Grateful Dead. And if the weather's nice, so are my neighbors. My neighbors are going to be so stoned. 10 of these, Don. I rolled 10. Actually, I rolled 11, but one was to smoke while I rolled the other 10. Okay? So,
wow,
I am ready to light this bitch up, baby. Somebody light this. Get me a match.
Yes.
Yeah, baby. Party! Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Party!
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you, Benny.